Carl Casper is a skilled chef who works as a head chef in a well-known restaurant. As a chef, Casper is very creative, agile, and loyal. This makes the mainstay menu at the restaurant where he works is loved by many people. But because of his busy life in the kitchen, he lost the most precious thing in his life, his family. His divorce makes his son, Percy, have to take turns being cared for. Even when Casper is with Percy, he is still busy looking for ingredients for a new menu that will be served to critics as well as food bloggers who will judge his restaurant menu. After that, Casper returned to the kitchen to prepare the dish. He was also assisted by all his assistants. His closest assistants are Martin and Tony. The restaurant manager, Molly, also helped him. But before the new menu was finished, the restaurant owner, Riva, came to stop Casper from serving the new menu. Riva ordered Casper to cook the same menu, as it was served every day. This is because according to him, the menu is the best menu that is always liked by many people. But Casper thought that the menu was old-fashioned because it had been served every day for 5 years. And if it were served to a food blogger named Ramsay, it would destroy Casper's reputation as a chef, as well as the reputation of the restaurant. But in the end, Riva sticks to his decision.
Good night. Let's have some fun. Good.
So Casper and all his assistants cooked the same menu as usual. The next day, Casper and all his friends waited for the results of the rating. Initially, the reviews for the appetizers were pretty good, as Ramsay had tasted Casper's food 10 years ago. However, for the desserts, Ramsay considers the taste and creativity to be average. Even far from his expectations. Therefore, their restaurant is rated with 2 stars. Of course, with this rating, Casper was very disappointed because he had dedicated his life as a chef. Casper also told his ex-wife, Inez, that Ramsay seemed intent on bringing him down. But Inez tries to cheer up Casper. She was suggesting Casper to play with Percy. But still, Casper looked uninspired. To relieve his disappointment, Casper busied himself in the kitchen and made new menus. It's already morning. Martin was surprised that Casper was already in the kitchen. There, Martin tried Casper's new menu and was pleasantly surprised by the taste. Even Tony admitted that it tasted really good. Casper's friends advised him to ignore the comments on Twitter. But Casper doesn't know about Twitter and social media. Therefore, he felt confused and asked them to show it. In unison, they tried to divert the conversation so that Casper did not know the comments of netizens on Twitter. The next day, Casper made breakfast for Percy. Still curious, Casper asked Percy to create a Twitter account and teach him how to use it. But suddenly, Percy was surprised to see Ramsay's criticism, which went viral and invited many negative comments. At that time, Percy tried to divert his father's attention by expressing his desire. He wants to go back to how he used to be, when his father and mother were still together. Of course, Casper finds it hard to answer this. Casper just said that even though they were separated, they were still good friends. In the evening, Casper tried to play Twitter himself. Until he finally found out about Ramsay's criticism and netizen comments. Of course it made him angry, so Casper decided to get back at Ramsay. But because he was just learning, he made a mistake and instead replied to Ramsay's comments directly. So all Twitter users can see it. In the morning, Percy was very surprised because overnight, his father had thousands of comments. That's because Casper exchanged comments with Ramsay. Ramsay insults Casper's cooking. And Casper didn't stay still. Finally, Casper challenged Ramsay to come to his restaurant and taste his newest menu.
Why don't you come by again tonight? I got a whole new menu.
Give me the phone.
Don't do it. You know what? I threw down the gauntlet.
The challenge immediately became a trend, until the restaurant had many visitors. In fact, today is the busiest day since the restaurant opened. But again, Casper's new menu was rejected by Riva. The restaurant owner told Casper to cook the same menu as usual. Tension between Casper and Riva ensued. Casper maintains his pride as a chef and Riva still doesn't care about Casper's challenge to Ramsay, because according to him, for 10 years the restaurant has remained busy with the menu as usual. Their debate reached its climax. Casper decided to step down as head chef and leave his current job. Casper was now filled with disappointment. He tries to calm himself down at home by cooking. On the other hand, Ramsay, who had now arrived at the restaurant, was disappointed because he was given the same dish as before. He didn't even see Casper in the kitchen. Because of his disappointment, Ramsay returned to writing on Twitter saying that Casper had no more food on the menu and was afraid to compete. After reading that comment, Casper's patience ran out. He goes to the restaurant and gets angry with Ramsay. Even Casper said that Ramsay was clueless about food and was also demeaning the hard work of the chefs. But unexpectedly, in that situation, the visitors actually recorded it until the video was spread widely and caused Casper's reputation to be destroyed. Then, Casper was refused to work in any restaurant. Therefore, Inez helped Casper. Casper got an offer to be a chef on Hell's Kitchen. But he turned down the offer. Later, he was contacted by Inez, who offered him to open a food truck business. But Casper still refused, with the reason he wanted to stop cooking for a while. A few days later, Casper came to Inez's house to meet Percy. But Percy refuses to meet him because Casper has cancelled their vacation appointment. Inez tells Casper that she and Percy are going to Miami to meet Inez's father. Inez also invited Casper to come along. Initially, Casper refused because he had no money. But he finally agreed after Inez persuaded him by saying that Casper could spend time with Percy and also forget about his problems for a moment. Long story short, the three of them arrived in Miami. There, they attended a show of Inez's father. Percy relived the happy times with his father and mother that he hadn't felt in a long time. While chatting with Inez's father, Casper ate a sandwich and admitted it was delicious. But according to Inez, Casper's is much better. Because of Inez's words, Casper then reflected on Inez's offer to run a food truck business. Of course, Inez was very supportive of it. After that, Casper went to see Marvin, Inez's ex-husband. Casper aims to buy Marvin's used food truck. And after waiting for a while, the truck finally arrived in a very worrying condition.
Yeah.
Casper and Percy are now spending time together. They cleaned the truck and even shared tasks. Casper was in charge of repairing the engine, while Percy was cleaning the inside. After the two of them finished cleaning it, they then shopped for cooking utensils. There was a large cooking utensil that was difficult to fit in the truck, and Casper turned to Marvin's workers for help. But because Casper couldn't speak Mexican, they ended up ignoring him. But unexpectedly, when Casper tried to enter it himself, suddenly Martin came. He deliberately left his job at the restaurant and prefers to help Casper. Turns out, they both couldn't even put the cooking utensil in. So Martin, who can speak Mexican, asked the workers to help him. After everything was done, Casper, Martin, and Percy together made the food that was distributed to the workers earlier. They were Casper's first customers. In the evening, the three of them rested while planning tomorrow's sale. But when Casper and Percy were going back to the hotel, Martin asked permission to paint the truck first to make it look more attractive. Now, their food truck has been painted. The three of them were ready to leave. On their first trip, Percy tweeted that his father's food truck would stop in every city and in every crowd. Even more interesting, at each stop, they always prepare a different menu. This makes their food truck flooded with customers. They pass city after city, and Percy is always actively posting his journey, which makes people even more curious about Casper, who used to be trending. Now they stopped in a city. There, Casper and Percy took time out for a walk. Of course, they also enjoy some culinary. However, when they returned, they were surprised by a very long queue of customers. Casper and Martin finally found out that it was all because of Percy, who always captured their moment and posted their every trip. Shortly, they continued their journey. They stopped at a crowd. At that time, Inez contacted Casper. Inez said that she was happy to see their happiness. However, due to the busy situation, Casper accidentally said that he loves Inez. In the evening, while enjoying a music concert, Casper selfie with Percy. Casper told Percy that he really enjoyed selling with him. But after that, Casper told Percy to go home and go back to his mother, because Percy had to continue his school. It made Percy sad, because he had to be separated from his father again. Long story short, Percy finally returned home accompanied by Casper. And when Casper got home, he opened an email from Percy which contained a collection of videos of their happy moments, when they traveled together. After seeing the video, Casper thanks. Later, he called Percy to say that he would allow Percy to help him back at the food truck. Of course, after Percy came home from school. Now, their food truck is filled with customers again. Inez was also there to help. But unexpectedly, from behind the crowd, Ramsey appeared. He wanted to talk to Casper. Ramsey apologized and explained that all his words were job demands. Because according to him, to be popular in online media, it needs something to be trending. But his goal to meet Casper is not just that. Ramsey turned out to invite Casper to work together in the restaurant business.
Delicioso. That asshole might be our new partner.
That was a lot of talking and you're not punching it.
6 months later, their restaurant business finally realized. The restaurant is very different from the previous one. Because now, Casper is free to cook whatever menu he wants. Even the best news, Casper is now back together with Inez. And their family happiness finally returned.